Have you ever felt like you were doing something important, but everyone around you just thought you were crazy? Well, let me tell you about a man named Noah. The Bible tells us it took him about 120 years to build a massive ship, what we now call the Ark. For all those years, can you imagine the ridicule? People laughed, they pointed fingers, and they called him a fool. Why would anyone spend over a century building a giant boat in the middle of dry land? Noah tried to explain. He told them it was a direct command from God, a way to save humanity from a great flood that was coming. But nobody listened. They just saw a man obsessed with a project that made no sense to them. When the colossal structure was finally complete, God gave Noah another set of instructions. Gather a pair of every kind of animal and bring them onto the ark. Noah did exactly as he was told. He brought his wife, his sons, and their wives aboard as well. In a final act of grace, he even extended an invitation to the very people who had mocked him. But they refused, still convinced he was out of his mind. Then the heavy doors of the ark were sealed shut, and just as Noah had warned, the rain began to fall. It wasn't just a storm, it was a deluge that lasted for 40 days and 40 nights, covering the entire earth. The world outside was completely transformed, washed clean by the floodwaters. Noah and his family were safe, floating on the endless ocean. But this is where the story most people know usually ends. We often think about the flood itself, but have you ever stopped to wonder what happened next inside the ark? Imagine being trapped in a floating vessel for months on end, not just with your family, but with every animal imaginable. Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! What challenges did they face? How did they manage to feed and care for all those creatures? How did they handle conflicts in such a confined space for so long? The flood was just the beginning of their journey. The real test of faith and survival was happening within the wooden walls of the ark. If you're curious to uncover the untold story of life inside Noah's Ark, what really happened after the flood began, don't forget to like and drop an amen for more.